Hi all, this is Skate, and I thought I'd put up a quick video to show the most completely broken tank in the game. This is the PZ-2J, the Tier 3 light tank. This tank is in store at the moment, so I thought I'd put up a video giving a brief description on it, basically, or my insight into it. Straight answer is I would strongly recommend getting one. It's completely broken, it makes it hysterical. Now this is a premium tank, obviously it's in the store, so it is, but it's not, it's not a premium tank I would say to rely on to make money with. It's more to do with the fact of its rarity and, well, just how funny it is. Prime example on the screen right now. You'll see I have two tanks aiming at me, one of them being another PZ-2J, and even with the APCR you can't actually penetrate each other. There's a tier 1 gun on it. In fact, he's buggered off. I'm bored, I'll go kill the other guy first. Reason being, and also the reason why I say this tank is broken, the tier 1 gun has 23mm of penetration on the AP, and 46mm of penetration on the APCR. In other words, it's bloody awful. So if you want to drive this tank and have a laugh, you need to spend a lot of money on APCR. I think I run like 50-50 between the AP and the APCR. So, gun's awful. What's the redeeming factor? Well, it has 80mm of armour on the front and 50 all around the sides and the rear. Basically, that is more than a KV-1 heavy tank 2 tiers higher. So, key thing, how do you kill another PZ-2J? On the side of the tank, you will see there are two hatches. The one in the middle only has 25mm of armour, and the smaller one at the front only has 35mm. Now, when I started this little round and round the merry-go-round with this other one, he had full health, I had 77. Basically, he didn't know where to penetrate me. I think after being penetrated numerous times in the same spot, he's kind of realised where he needs to shoot me. So, I die, but nonetheless, it's a good example of where to shoot on the tank. So, if you're looking for a weak spot, that is the place to shoot the tank. Now, the armor's not impenetrable on this, but it's OP. Very, very OP for the tier. So if you're looking for a ultimate seal clubber, this is your tank. Truth be told, I was a little bit peeved when I saw Wargaming put this back up for sale, only because it's so rare. I like taking it out, nobody knows what it is, so it makes it highly amusing. No one knows where to penetrate it, no one knows how to fight it. Yes, there are tanks which can penetrate it, but there are things you can do to reduce the fact, or reduce the chances of being penetrated. I'll explain all that as well, or how I do it through the course of this video also. So anyway, as I was saying, I was a little bit peeved when I saw it went back up for sale, but being as it's up there, might as well take advantage of it. Everybody go get one. Perspective-wise, there are 29,000, or last week when I checked, there were 29,000 T46s, according to what B-Stars on the EU server. This tank, last week, according to what B-Stars, there was only 400. It's a hell of a difference. But I ramble, so on with the tank. As you can see on the screen at the moment, if you look at the top, the scores, we are losing at the moment, but it really doesn't matter for the PZ-2J. Obviously, T46 can't really penetrate me too well. Now, the other tank, which is in the premium store at the moment, is that. It's an ugly tank, it's the BT-SV, but it's a good tank. It's not as good as the PZ-2J, in my opinion, though. If you want to know more on the BT-SV, if you head over to Martin Dogger's channel, he's just put up a video on this tank as well. Obviously, he goes through all the details on it. Link in the video description. So, what can I tell you about this tank? Top speed, 31 kilometers an hour. Apparently, this is a light tank. Basically, Germans just grabbed themselves the usual PZ and slapped a bucket load of armour on it, and they have their heavy-duty reconnaissance tank. The traverse speed on it is 28 degrees, which for a light tank is bad, but it's not the end of the world. It turns quick enough. Other light tanks will circle you, but as long as you keep moving, they'll struggle to get a flat surface to penetrate you anyway. So when you're in this tank, you don't sit at the back of the map, you need to be pushing forward, always. Basically, you need to be rocking in there head first, taking the damage so the team don't, and obviously securing a win as a result. If you end up in a team with a bunch of potatoes, it's tier 3, so it's understandable. Doesn't really matter too much as long as you use the tank to its full potential. And all you need to do to maximise the armour is turn the tank about 20 degrees left or right. In the replay, in all the replays actually, you will notice I keep turning the tank slightly away from anyone who I'm facing. Reason being is the side pretty much becomes an auto bounce. The front of the tank at this angle has about 100 to 120 millimeters of armour. More than enough to bounce pretty much everything in the same tier, lower tier, and surprisingly a fair amount of things at a higher tier as well. Whenever anyone talks about this tank, all they will ever say is if it's top tier it's completely OP, and when it's not top tier it's awful. I have to disagree with that logic. When it's top tier it's completely OP. When it's not top tier, it's still OP if you side scrape. The gun, it's tier 1 at the end of the day, it's awful. But I have a replay which has just come on right now, which hopefully will give an example of how to play it in a tier 4 match. If you look at the mini-map, you will see my entire team has gone left. I decided because I'm so slow to go into the town. What I wasn't expecting is for them all to be sitting up around this area. You'll note though the first thing I've done is hide my front plate behind the building and just given them the side, which produces a crazy amount of bounces. If you're aiming at higher tiers, there is no point wasting your time with AP. It's not going to penetrate. You might as well be firing or just automatically load the APCR on this sort of scenario. Especially when you're aiming at tier 4 tanks, sitting there with the AP on is going to produce far too many bounces. Now here I'm angled in such a way to protect myself from the T-28 straight ahead. As you can see, an SU is just rocked up on my left hand side. I'm not angled to him well. He's penetrated me with 2 shots straight away. Quick readjustment though, all is well in the world again. Except for the fact I struggle to penetrate him with my APCR. Now for a tank which is supposed to be really bad at tier 4 as a tier 3 tank, I think this is a very good example of it not being actually. For the rest of this replay I'm literally bombarded from all angles, and as you can see that Lux has just pretty much taken all of my health. I'm going to let the video run though so you can see exactly how much of a beating it takes. As long as I readjust my tank to whoever's facing me, it will produce a ludicrous amount of bounces. I'll let you watch the clip for the next few minutes now, or the next minute or two, and I'll hopefully see what I mean. But, shortly.
Periscope damaged. Enemy is hit. Enemy armor is destroyed. Enemy armor is damaged. We didn't penetrate their armor. That one didn't go through. Enemy vehicle destroyed.
that's where the magic stops. And as you can see, that's exactly why I love this tank. Tier 4 game, faced off against several opponents at many angles, and for some reason they didn't actually push me like they should have. But one thing I do want to point out here is if you look at that battle results, I fired nothing but APCR at those tanks, because as firing at a higher tier, I actually made a very, very good profit. In fact, looking at those results, 24,000 and 23,000. So basically I fired nothing but APCR, I had nearly all my health gone, and I fired 162 shots, and I only spent 1,000 on repairs. So if you can do damage in a tier 4 game, bonus. You will actually make some decent money. In a tier 3 game, I tend to find you don't make as much money, or to be entirely honest, most matches I make a slight loss. But I don't actually care because it's just hysterical. Now this video wasn't or isn't intended to be a do's and don'ts. It was actually intended to be only about 3-4 minutes long, but I can see I've rambled on for just over 11 minutes now. So if you want the short answer, is get the tank. It's cheap, it's very, very rare, it's bucket loads of fun. As a premium tank it won't make a lot of money, but if you drive everything at an angle like I am by here, you will bounce a ludicrous amount of things and you will have a glorious time trolling people. Or to give it another perspective, it's the third highest out of any tank in the game, or highest win rate. The win rate, or the average win rate on the server for this tank is 68.74%. That's ridiculous. I myself have done 85 games in this tank, and I have an 85% win rate. However, I know many, many people with a win rate into the 90s in this tank. As I've already said, it is the ultimate I'm going to troll you tank. So I genuinely strongly recommend getting it. It's very, very rare and it's well worth it. As I've already said though, this is only meant to be a very quick 3-4 minute video. I do tend to ramble. Hopefully it's made you want to buy the tank though, because you will not regret it. It's epic. That's all I actually have time for now. I need to go to bed. I'm knackered. Catch you all soon.